from a galaxy far, far away.
And a bookshelf straight out of the 90s.
From Thrawn to Dantooine.
And everything in between. This is Legends Look Back.
Very excited to be back in the cockpit, ready to do some Star Wars podcasting, joined by some fantastic friends of mine and yours. It's the internet. Hey, we're all friends these days, right? And what's especially exciting is we get to begin with talking about my very favorite Star Wars property of all time, because a couple days ago I got a message in the team chat, a message from my good friend of yours, Rick Grace, that said, I just finished Dark Empire. And Jared, I have a question for you about what I should read next. Rick, congratulations, my friend, on finishing the very best Star Wars story there ever was.
Thank you.
And how much did you love it?
Oh, I definitely enjoyed it. I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, other than lots of Palpatine nudity, which was
There's that.
way more than I thought. Just
Wait, you expected a lot, and there was still way more than you thought?
I knew that was there, but I was surprised. There's one that it's like, I'm not gonna get too detailed there, but yeah, there's like a couple spots that I almost couldn't stop staring and wasn't sure, what was what was gonna be on the next page. We'll put it that way. So yeah, it was really good. I will say the first few episodes kind of took me some getting used to, getting into it, but by the fifth and sixth issues, by the fifth or sixth, thank you, fifth or sixth issues, I was hooked, and it was great and very emotionally moving. It was a good story. Yeah. And Jared, the question I had for you was, well, what do I do next? Is the rest of the trilogy, is it good? Is it worth reading, or does the story kind of peak there and then plateau? What happens next?
I have thought for 3 full days, Rick, about how I'm going to answer you on this. And my decision is I'm going to quote to you, at least as best I can from memory, what our good buddy Jacob from the Cosmic Force said when he read Dark Empire 2. He said, and I think I've got this at least close to right. Jacob is here with us in the chat. Maybe he can fill me in on his exact response. It was something like, Dark Empire is a 10 in terms of Legends wackiness. The crazy, wild... you got, Palpatine comes back from the dead, the big vacuum cleaner planetary destroyers with legs, and I'm bleeding. Okay. It's absolutely nuts. Darkside Luke, you name it. The Vodo Siask Bosk, like an elephant Jedi trapped in a cube. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely bonkers. And he said Dark Empire 2 takes that to a 12.
What?
So, not that it's a better story, but that it takes the craziness to a whole new level. Do you think that's a fair assessment, Freddie?
I would say so. Yeah, I would definitely say that's the case. I mean, it's wacky. You know what I feel like was trying, what was going on. I'm having a hard time trying to word this because it's a very odd situation. But I feel like they try to be over innovative, making a lot of different things that really didn't need to exist. Right? I feel like you could have had maybe 2 different ships, but no. Dark Empire did not want to do that. They gave it the full treatment, full Legends treatment, 10 out of 10. It's number
12 out of 10.
12 out of 10 if you read the sequel, which I recommend you do, Rick, so you can just see what's waiting on the other side for you.
It does form, across the entire trilogy, it does form a complete story. It follows up, and by the time you get to Empire's End, you're dying to know what's going to happen. How are they going to finish this off? So I don't know that I can say it's as good, but it is excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very biased with all this, but Rick, very proud of you, very excited. We are going to have to talk about a different Star Wars book tonight. We are going to have to transition into what we're here to talk about, and what we have, our very special guest, there it is, mirror image, here to help us talk about the Han Solo Trilogy by A.C. Crispin. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends Look Back, proudly part of the YOUTINI Podcast Network. This is a Star Wars books podcast for people who swoop their bikes and their hair, where we celebrate our rich EU history as well as dive into lesser-known Star Wars classics. I'm your host, Jared Mays, and I'm joined by my legendary co-hosts, always on time, impeccably so, Freddie C. How are you, Freddie?
Doing all right. Do you know what the name of that moped in The Mandalorian was called, or Boba Fett. I wouldn't mind having.
Oh, those little tricycles, the candy apple red ones.
Yeah, exactly.
The bike gang.
Yeah, the mods, right? That's their name,
Yeah,
which is cool because in what was it, the UK at the time in the 60s, they were the same name, the mods, and they were doing the same thing in scooters. So that was
Really?
a pretty cool little throwback there. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of mods, we are joined by our man in the chair, pressing the buttons, keeping us safe, a moderator of a couple of Star Wars Facebook groups, Rick Grace. How are you, Rick?
Beep boop, beep boop. I'm good, man. Pressing all the buttons.
Glad to have you doing so.
Yes.
Not pressing my buttons, though.
Dreams.
Always happy to have you here.
Personality assessments. What else you want?
Perfect. Not Star Trek. Please don't say that.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
We do have a very special guest tonight. Please don't scare him off, Rick. And that is Dr. Charles Hanckel. He's fresh off of butt kicking, taking names, charting names, and then bandaging said butts.
Oh, look.
How are you, Dr. Hanckel?
Eric Eilerson.
We got that wrong.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I am Eric. No, I'm
sorry.
good. I'm good. I will not live up to Eric. I can promise you that. But I am stoked to be here.
I have no idea what happened. That's so strange.
Before the show, we were looking at a bumper, and
There you go.
it was there. It is. It's fixed. And what was it called, Jared? We were Look Back Legends. Is that what it was?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that
The Look
opening
Back
panel. We got the show times up at the top now. And at first, our own show title was wrong. Look Back Legends. But we got it right. We got it right, just like we fixed Charles's name.
Man. Amateur
I don't know how
hour.
you just did that.
I
How'd
don't
you
either.
fix it?
That was so quick.
Well, what happened was I put his lower third in his regular scene instead of the nameplate scene. And so I went to guess nameplate.
Yeah,
and
I
still
lost you.
had
Okay,
Eric.
yeah, you lost me.
So what happened was, but yeah.
That is legitimately one of my very favorite expressions in the entire English language. What had happened was, because there's always going to be a good story after that. You know what else
Yes.
has good stories?
I do.
Yeah, there we go.
Bandcamp.
Here we go. The Essential Legends Collection
okay.
Wave 4,
Not Bandcamp.
which was just announced yesterday. Is that right? Yesterday?
Yeah,
Something
it was
like
this
that.
week.
This week.
Yeah, definitely this week.
Very exciting. Freddie, tell us what we got here.
Yeah, so we've got Wave 4, and with Wave 4, we're getting the Krytos Trap by Michael Stackpole. So that's, what is that, number 4?
Three.
Three in the series. And this next one...
Charles knows his X-Wing lore,
there
that's
you go.
for sure.
That's good. And then this next one, Darth Maul Shadowhunter by Michael... Look at this cover by Michael Reeves. That is beautiful. And number 3, number 1 favorite of all time. I think one of our first episodes, Death Troopers.
Episode 0, Freddie.
Episode 0.
The undead episode.
Joe Schreiber, author on that one. Honestly, this is such a great wave. I'm glad to see Death Troopers making the cut here.
All right, let's go around the horn. Charles, you're our guest. Let's start with you. Favorite of the 3 books?
Oh, like content-wise or cover?
Up to you. Don't care.
Okay, I'm gonna say Kratos Trap. I admittedly have not read Darth Maul. I have read Death Troopers, and that's a story and a half right there. But I am a big fan of the X-Wing
Yes, it
series,
is.
and I like the cover, how they have like the different colored eyes for Isard there. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Good pick. My choice is no surprise. Darth Maul Shadowhunter is without a doubt one of my all-time favorite Legends books.
I was about to
and the
say.
more I hype it, the more I really hope everybody else likes it half as much as I do.
Are you a fan of Lockdown or Shadowhunter? Or both?
That's a big debate within the Legends community. I like both, but Shadowhunter is my favorite.
Yeah.
What about you?
I definitely like Lockdown, but there's something about Shadowhunter that I just really get into. I don't know how to describe it. It maybe it's just the flow of the...
It's compelling.
It is. It really is compelling.
It's like,
I know we're not doing Thraken's Thrift Store tonight, but I just want to show off this mall lockdown hardcover that Jared passed on.
Oh,
beautiful.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a beautiful
Hold on, I
book.
passed on that.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Yeah,
How'd you get that?
you passed on
You
it.
giving him his books?
No,
Oh, I didn't
You don't
pass
have it
on.
anymore.
Timothy.
I
yeah,
passed on
passed
it.
on the opportunity to get it. And I think you said you could get
I
it
see.
somewhere else cheaper, and I was like, no, you can't. I'll take it. So
I've tried to rein in my spending until after celebration.
okay,
Same.
gotcha.
Yeah, because I've got some big plans. I'm very excited, very excited.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna keep it chill because not everybody here gets to go, and we're not
true.
gonna freak out. We're not gonna freak out. All right, Rick, which one of these three is your favorite? Which one are you most excited to read for the first time?
Yes.
Or we are getting, by the way, an unabridged production for the first time ever of Darth Maul, Shadow Hunter,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited.
So all of these are pretty great. I think Death Troopers, like that one is like spooky, but it makes me want to read it. But I think my favorite is Kirito's Trap. I love the color scheme they've had with these books, and I'm really excited that they're gonna look great on the shelf. What is it? Blue, red, and now green. And Isard, her eyes, man, it's so good. I love it. So I think that one's my favorite.
The unfortunate part of all of these covers, which is the same thing for every book, is the fact that we never get to see the full cover the whole time. We always have to put the spine in, right, etc.
Yes,
There's a whole method, of course, of that. I'm not going to get into that with
That's
Jared.
right. But there's a thumbnail of the cover on the spine, so you can see the cover image.
Too small.
It's a thumbnail. It's not supposed to be big.
Whose thumbs are that
Anyway.
big, man?
Here's the thing. Finally, we got a green X-Wing book.
Yeah.
You know who would be happy about that?
Cornhorn.
His favorite color, green. Painted his ship green, wears green Jedi robes, has a green
Whistler?
droid.
Mm-hmm.
Is his Whistler? Or is Corrin's, is Wedge's Whistler?
No, it's Corn.
It's Corn. Yeah.
Wedge is Minoc.
Mynock. Yeah,
Wow.
because he's like a
I have so
nonstop.
much useless information in my brain. So much useless information. I'm going to have more after we read the Essential Legends Collection Wave 4. You guys want to hear something really tragic?
Definitely.
I forgot to pre-order Wave 3,
Oh man.
so I don't have them yet.
I don't know if I have Wave 3 either. I think my ELCs are still in boxes from Waves 1 and 2, so I don't even know what I have anymore. We'll get there.
That's right. Absolutely. It's going to be okay, everybody. You've got time. As of listening to this, though, there is a 25% off pre-orders on Barnes & Noble. Don't tell Corey. That's not like one of our affiliate links, but if you want to pre-order, I did. Save me $12 on all three of these earlier today. Now, we've got some really big news. Charles, you announced this Monday night on the Living Force. What do we have coming up here on a few weeks across the YOUTINI podcast network?
That's right. We have Kenobi Week coming, guys. I think I referred to it as a super event. That's how I'm just going to refer to it moving forward. We are honoring Obi-Wan Kenobi himself and his upcoming Disney Plus series by every show in the YOUTINI network doing some sort of feature about the character. And I'm really excited for it. This is pretty much why I'm on this earth. This is why I was born. Kenobi
It's why you're here.
Week. Exactly.
It's going to be good.
Wink, wink.
Very excited. Yeah, we're going to do a full week of content. Ideally, if it all goes according to plan, which you got to roll those chance cubes and hope that Qui-Gon gets him to bounce just the right way. If all goes according to plan, we're going to have content live on YOUTINI. What is this website called? YouTube.com/YOUTINI every single night of the week for Kenobi Week, which is in just a few weeks here. I should probably get the dates in the notes for next week. That would help.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stay tuned.
It's coming real soon.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. For our particular show, Freddie, tell them what we are going to be reading here on Legends Look Back while I look for the date of the event.
Yeah. So we're you know what? There's some stuff on here. I'm not even sure which one I'm supposed to cover here.
On Legends Look Back.
Legends Look Back. There we go. We're gonna be reviewing the Kenobi book by John Jackson Miller on Thursday. So we've talked about it before. It's a book that honestly deserves more episodes. There's so much that happens, and it's going to be interesting to see how this book coincides with the release of what we're about to see. Right, possibly during Celebration. I think time is TBA still.
No, they've got a date for it. I don't have it in my calendar. It starts right when we're at Celebration.
Yeah.
Friday.
Because they bumped it like 2 days or something.
The 27th.
Because now it was supposed to be the 25th, I think, and now they're releasing 2 episodes on the first day to make up for the fact that they pushed it.
It's going to kill us, that's for sure. Then we're going to have to come back from the dead all slimy and naked, like naked Palpatine. Anyway, that's coming out. The Kenobi show is May 27th.
Poised.
Okay, thanks everybody. Yeah, really drove home my metaphor there. Kenobi week here, Youtini, youtube.com/Youtini is May 15th through 21st. So mark your calendars, block out your week, don't make any plans. Pick up your copy of
What was the dates?
Kenobi by John Jackson Miller, May 15th through 21st. And then Monday, they're going to be reading, Wednesday, they're going to talk about the Kenobi comic. There's all kinds of fun stuff that's going to be happening here, Kenobi related.
So much content.
And shout out to this dope poster that Jose made for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
pretty.
a pure coincidence that it's the Ukrainian flag colors.
Charles,
very
you must
timely,
be excited.
I am excited. I mean, I'm kidding a little bit when I say it's why I'm on this earth, but it's top 3 reasons. I'll tell you that. It's my favorite character. It is this TV show that's coming out. It's like around my favorite time period for the character, and I think he's finally getting his due.
Absolutely, I'm very excited.
I can't wait for a Truce
Charles-
of Bakura week.
Yeah, Freddie, that's going to happen for sure.
Yep, it's on the list.
It's the week that I'm going on
somewhere.
vacation, I think. Charles, Rick and I have both ordered custom-made Jedi robes,
Nice.
just so we can look half as spiffy as you do in that that opener for the Living Force.
I'll have to dust mine off. I'll have to bring out my. I have a cardboard cutout, a full life-size cardboard cutout of Obi-Wan Kenobi as well.
Nice.
That I think I got as a gift from one of our Youtini Christmas
Awesome.
deals
What?
that we did.
Did
I
you
can't
really?
I can't remember who got it for me now, and I feel bad. But I love it. I've scared the crap out of Nicole with that thing multiple times.
Oh, that's hilarious. Michael got me for Christmas 2 years ago a Stormtrooper cardboard cutout, which I had in the background quite a bit on Legends Look Back. And my cat friggin' loves that thing and has torn the edges to shreds. She's sunk her little teeth in there, so they're looking more like those Death Troopers, if you know what I'm saying. They have been through it, and we're going to get through it tonight as we talk about the Han Solo Trilogy. So, Charles, we're talking about the Han Solo Trilogy by A.C. Crispin. This is infamously, back when we started Legends Look Back, before we had ever even recorded that episode 0 about Death Troopers, Freddie, I asked the team, which was 12 people at the time, now it's 31.
Wow.
I asked the team, what is a Legends book you'd like to come and talk about on Legends Look Back? And this was 2019. Charles chose The Paradise Snare by A.C. Crispin. And then we did not choose him when it was time to read The Paradise Snare. Charles, this is your moment. Tell us why you love the Han Solo Trilogy by A.C. Crispin.
Oh man, three years later, there were so many better options than what I chose way back when. This book, admittedly, is I'm sure y'all will appreciate this. It is important to me for nostalgic reasons. Honestly, I mean, I do genuinely think that this is an amazing trilogy. I'm glad that y'all have dedicated a couple weeks to it. But this is the first Star Wars reading I did. Period. Like I. Still have this vivid memory of going into Barnes and Noble. I'll get goosebumps here just thinking about walking up to that Star Wars section. And I was looking through all my options, and I happened to pull Paradise Snare. I mean, I looked through several options. I saw, hey, this was a book 1. Hey, it's Han Solo. I love Han Solo. So I'm going to give it a try. And it didn't hurt that there was like a liger on the cover too, you know. That probably influenced me a little bit. And I adored it. It really is a big part of why I am still a Star Wars fan, still a Star Wars books fan, why I'm part of YOUTINI. And like I said, I just think they're good stories too. I think they really do Han's story justice, his backstory. I think it makes his character in the original trilogy make a whole lot of sense. And I love that.
So Charles,
You're telling me... Okay, go ahead, Freddie.
yeah, this is a question coming from someone who hasn't really dipped too many of their toes into the canon franchises yet.
Just
but-
like 2.5 toes.
yeah, like not even that, like a toenail. So how does this compare with how Han is being portrayed in canon. Now I know that there's a lot that they're talking about, like the Jedi previous to what we saw, right, and some other stories. Are we seeing any Han Solo related content in canon right now?
Oh, in canon right now, there really has not been anything recently. There's been like a big push in terms of prequel content, I feel like recently, and then obviously the High Republic just took over like the past year. So, I mean, I really can't think of anything Han-centric in canon since we had things related to the Solo Star Wars story film, like when we got Most Wanted, when we got Last Shot. Those are kind of the last projects that I would say are like Han-centric.
There's about to be a comic coming out. Just started?
Yes.
Is starting? There's been a big delay with comics. A lot of them got pushed like a month, 6 weeks. I think it's called Han Solo and Chewbacca. It's like one of those real original titles. Not a Legends title.
What's it about?
If it was a Legends title, it would have been Star Wars, Han Solo and Chewbacca, Hero's Journey, Book 2, The Mission to Thon-Boka. You know what I'm saying?
Volume 1.
Volume 1, Part 1. Right.
Not to be confused with another line named about the same thing, just mixed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. A book with the exact same name, but 2 words are in different order. I love that. Absolutely. So you're telling me, Charles, you picked this up without the help of YOUTINI.com? How did you find a Star Wars book just randomly looking at the shelves?
Listen, in the old days, you know, your mom drove you to a big
My
box
mom
store.
drove you to the store?
Yes, it was purely thanks to Jared's mom. This really is a throwback 90s podcast, isn't it? We're dropping your mama jokes. Yeah, you would go to the big box store. You would walk into this giant section, and rather than be overwhelmed by the glory of YOUTINI.com and its timeline, you would just stare at this gigantic shelf of every Star Wars book that had ever come out for that point. And it was, I think it was Merg. Like I said, I think it was the Liger who really swayed me to choose this one.
It's awesome.
Merg. Shout out to Merg. Or how do you pronounce it? Do you put like an extra little purr in there? I remember Charlie put a little sauce on it when she was on the show.
I hold Merg as long as Vader holds the no at the new end of Revenge of the Sith.
All I can do is picture the meme that has the O's all the way around and circle around in the middle. I don't know if we rated these last week, guys. Did we rate them? Did we give the trilogy itself a number, a numerical score? I'm going to give it a solid 9. Solid 9 as a trilogy. I think book 1 is the best. Book 2 is the Hutt Loriest. So if that's what you're here for, you know, that's the top of the list. I will say I was entertained, but grossed out equally, both. And then book 3 it's got a triumphant finish. It's epic, an epic conclusion, but a little bit disjointed. Book 1 is the most cohesive. So as a trilogy, I'm giving it a solid 9. Freddie, you're up. What's your score?
Yeah.
And what's the best book of the trilogy to you?
You know, I'll never forget reading Hutt Gambit and just thinking, I really, really did not need to know all of those things. But at the same time, I'm glad I do. You know, I never know when I'm going to have to use it. And here we are on Legends Look Back years later having to use the same knowledge. So it's clearly come in handy. But I would have to agree with you. I think Paradise Snare is definitely the best one out of the series. Although I had a hard time really putting them all down. Once I got through it, once I started reading, I just kept going. And I would say on my list it's probably not as high as a 9, but it's not far. I would say it's about an 8.7. Only because of a little bit of the disjointedness, and sometimes you get thrown around and you have to kind of go back and where am I? What happened again? At least that's what I had to do. But
her attempts to include every last little bit of expanded universe lore that was created up until that point is respectful. Yes. I like the way Skooma Joe said it in the Discord earlier. It's respectful of what had come before, but it gets to be a bit much. Yeah. It does get to be a bit much. All right, Rick, what's your score for the Han Solo trilogy?
So I think for me, I'm going to go a different path for y'all. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8, I think, on the trilogy. still liked it a lot. But y'all, what are y'all laughing at?
I just read
Scuba
Scuba Joe's
Joe.
comments.
Wrote butt lore instead of hut lore
Oh,
in the
dear.
chat.
Oh, nice. Butt lore. There you go. That's what we're here for, everybody.
Save us, Rick.
All right.
Back on the rails, my friend.
I can't read the comments right now. Those are too good. Yeah, so for me, Paradise Snare, I give it a 7. It was good, but weird. Hutt Gambit was my favorite book of the trilogy, and so it gets an 8, solid 8 for me, and then Rebel Dawn is 7.5. I love space combat, so that the Battle of Narshada, and Hutt Gambit was...
We'll accept either one.
Yeah, was so good. I loved that sequence. It was so good. So the whole trilogy was really good. I've got so many thoughts we talked about last week and more tonight. But yeah, 8 overall for me.
I had a feeling you were going to like Hutt Gambit, especially, the space fighting is obviously fantastic, but also you're definitely a person who likes those manuals and in-universe content, and I feel like Hutt Gambit really delivers on that.
It's basically a manual to the Hutt Kajitic warfare.
Yeah,
that
was fun. That was fun.
I knew it.
Yeah, that's a good score. I'll respect that. Yeah. Hutt Gambit does build to a classic Star Wars space battle finale, and I do appreciate that. Charles, what's your overall score for the trilogy, and what's your favorite book of the 3?
I think I'll agree with your 9. Jared, I have to say that, you guys invited me onto the show to talk about this. I was really excited, and I was like, man, I'm going to read every one of these books over again in 2 weeks' time to get ready for this. And I didn't. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna read the Paradise Snare because I got to read the beginning, right? And I didn't. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna read the first few chapters of Paradise Snare. And I didn't. I read the first chapter again, and then this is blasphemous. I skipped around and just picked random pages throughout all 3 books. I kid you not, and then read the final chapter of Rebel Dawn. All that said, I think this is really fantastic. Again, I am biased, so that's probably why I'm scoring it so highly. I could see people walking away from this less satisfied than I was. But I think, for me, one of the most impactful moments was actually the very end of Rebel Dawn. I thought things really wrapped up nicely there. I think the very, very end, the last page, I remember it being a gut punch the first time that I read that, how the end is truly the beginning. And I think I'm gonna say it's my favorite of the 3.
That's cool.
Rebel Dawn's your favorite of the 3?
I think so.
Well, you don't know for sure because you just skipped around a little bit.
That is true.
I will say, I had a lower view of the trilogy when I joined YOUTINI. And then I saw that this trilogy was scored top tier among Legends books that YOUTINI people had read at the time. So they're not the biggest sample size. However, very highly rated. And you had a really extensive comparison that you'd written for the site comparing the A.C. Crispin trilogy to Solo: A Star Wars Story. You remember writing that? 2018?
I do. No, I do remember it. That was the piece that I wrote, I think, to audition for YOUTINI. I think that's something I wrote and sent to Corey to be like, hey, I like Star Wars too. Look how nerdy this is. Yeah, because they actually did draw heavily on these books. If you have not read one, only read the other, whichever way you go, you'll notice a lot of similarities. And there was some pretty specific homage to A.C. Crispin herself in Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I'll have to find the link to that if it still exists and throw it up in the Discord. It's hard to know what has survived all these years on the site. And I've got to ignore you guys with your butt jokes. Oh my goodness, you're killing me. Absolutely killing me. Now, this is an amazing trilogy. I'm really glad that I had the chance to reread it. The reason for us coming back to it and giving it the revisit is that our wonderful folks over in the Discord were doing a book club over this around the holidays, and we said, we're going to do it. And then none of us were able to keep up with the schedule. Yeah. However, Rick, Freddie, and myself have since each finished the entire Han Solo Trilogy. And Emily is either reading it or has already read it or will read it, because we know for a fact that she got this for Christmas. Because her husband asked Corey, who asked us what he should get her for Christmas. So
It's a great
you're welcome.
book. Yeah, I love that. I love the cover to that. I'll never get tired of it.
Yeah.
And I hope you love it. Now, this is, as Charles said, it's that last chapter. I mean, it's got a massive heartbreak to it. It really does. I don't guess it's the last chapter. Close to the end of Rebel Dawn. This is one of the most heartbreaking Star Wars stories in all of the expanded universe. And there's a lot of major character deaths in the expanded universe. By the way, it's going to be full spoilers for the Han Solo trilogy. So this is your, cover your Hutt butts on the way out the door kind of moment here. We're going to talk about the worst heartbreak of the series. Freddie, I'm going to start with you. Which one do you think is the knife to the gut moment of the trilogy?
Oh man, this is tough. I mean, the romance part of the whole thing is really tough to watch, right? Bria, and to me it was very heartbreaking to see Han Solo go through that. To get, I guess, betrayed by someone you care about has got to hurt extra. And it's funny because we talked about this last week, but the relationship, we were almost rooting for it, even though we knew the outcome of who he was going to be with and who he was going to be happier with. But still, like it really tugged at your heartstrings to the point where you feel really bad for the guy, and you absolutely despise Bria for doing what she did, right?
Do you think the first or the second heartbreak with Bria is worse, Freddie?
This is tough, man. I mean, they both suck, to be honest.
I'm going to lean toward the second one. How about y'all?
No, I'm saying first one.
Yeah.
The first one was a shocker for me, and because Han was so young and vulnerable, and was really, really going out there for her, and then she just left him with a note, like breaking up over a note, man. Come on. And
all right, and somebody in the Discord said this is what's especially bad about it. They said this was especially a bad breakup because she said, "I'm breaking up with you for you. It's better
not
for
me.
you.
It's you.
If I break up with you." It's the classic. If it's not me, it's
it
you.
hurts.
Charles, put him on the spot. All right, take him to the one. Rick, you ever had a really bad heartbreak?
Oh God, yeah. Oh man. Funny enough, so I have my stack of books here. I'm not going to take you through this whole saga, but I have my stack of books here. I have my original Rebel Dawn, like my Legends bannerless Rebel Dawn.
Oh yes.
But my Hutt Gambit and my Paradise Snare, they are bannered, and that is because I lent books 1 and 2 to my ex-girlfriend and never got them back. I think she must have been inspired by Bria Theron. I don't know, because she disappeared.
Nice.
Charles, congratulations. That is going to be preserved on the internet forever.
Yeah. That's a
Charles' ex-girlfriend, if you're out there, we
Send
want the
us
book
back.
back.
I still
we
want it.
We want the
Bring
book
him back.
We do. And also, you can order your own copy at youtini.com. You click the Amazon link in the profile, and we get a few cents to help keep the lights on. Who else wants to go on this? The worst heartbreak of the series. Why is nobody saying the crushed Hutt baby? That was rough.
Yeah.
That was graphic, definitely. I don't know. Hutt's.
I think a lot of really awful things happen to Hutts in these books, honestly.
Yeah.
So
But
true.
the worst heartbreak, honestly, I'm going to say, what was Bria's father's name? I can't remember now his name, but
Mr. Theron.
Yeah.
yes, Mr. Theron. When Han sends the message to Bria's dad just to let him know.
Was that in the last
That-
chapter?
Oh yeah.
Of course it was. I only have 2 chapters to pull off of here. It was in the last chapter. That's pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Any parental things in stories always just really kill me.
Definitely.
Oh, man. Now it's driving me nuts. I can't remember his name. I picture him as mustached.
Yeah.
A big
Definitely
mustached man.
mustached.
Definitely. Well, it's a heartbreaking series. Also a very entertaining series. And we're going to talk later about one of the wildest and wackiest moments of the trilogy. I'm interested to hear everybody's favorite moment from the wild and wacky moments. One of the wild and wacky things I found out about the trilogy is the Lucasfilm intervention that messed the trilogy up. I want to hear your hot take on this, guys. One of the bigger debates concerning the series is the time jump that occurred between the Paradise Snare and the Hutt Gambit. And I went back scrolling through the 1,500 messages from the book club that we did over the holidays today instead of writing my research paper. Oh, man. Anyway, one of the big issues, everybody in jumping from book 1 to book 2 said, did I miss something? Did I miss something? Did I miss something? How come we went from Han out on his own to instantly Han already buddies with Chewbacca? Do you guys know the history with all this?
No.
You ever heard this? This is crazy. I didn't know this till today. The reason that it's so jarring between book 1 and book 2, there is no mention of Han meeting Chewbacca for the first time, is because GL himself said, save that for me. Don't do that in a book. I'm going to do something with it one day.
Huh, interesting.
And he never did. Lucasfilm specifically gave them the instruction to steer clear of Han meeting Chewie.
Wow.
There you go.
Interesting.
Now, do you think this is a moment that was destined to happen on screen? Or do you think the trilogy would have been better for it?
Well, I think knowing a little bit of kind of the drama and chaos that happened during the sale, in order for George to basically get what he got, he had to write a few drafts of movies that he was going to be, that were in the works, to say, hey, you're not only buying Star Wars, you're buying Star Wars in these future films. And I can't remember how many rough drafts there were, and who knows what they actually were. If it had to do anything with what we saw, I doubt. But if there was anything with Han Solo, maybe that was what he got. We will ultimately truly never know until we break open those Disney vaults. But I'd be interested to see if he had any hand in I guess giving them the idea of how or why. That's a good question though.
It's a good moment. I do love the moment in Solo: A Star Wars Story, how they first meet. Did like a whole devotional for the teenagers about it. One of those like, hey, we're going to make this about God moments. I made it about how Han doesn't see Chewie as a monster, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody, the guards are like, Chewie, the thing down there, it's a monster. We're going to throw him to the beast. And Han gets down there and they become friends. And it's like how... Yeah, anyway, you get it. All right.
Could have gone with the whole sin to slavery thing, or slavery to sin. That's the one. I get it backwards.
Save that for my retreat that I'm doing
All
this
right,
weekend.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm going to bring real handcuffs that I don't have a key to. And
dear.
no, I probably shouldn't do that.
Sounds great.
Do you think? Yeah, it's going to work out fine. Do you think that the trilogy would have been better to have Han meeting Chewie, or is it perfect as it is?
That's a good
More
question.
cohesive.
Yeah. I know. Go ahead, Freddie.
I feel like that story definitely deserves a treatment of its own. To try to fit that storyline in this book, I don't think does the meeting justice, which is why I think George probably wanted that until he could figure out how that epic moment was going to happen, because they are two epic characters that have an epic moment, and you can't just
Deserves
write
its own
that.
book.
It
Yeah.
deserves its own book, and possibly even more than that, right? But
Right.
I don't think it would have done this if we had another book to reference it, right? Maybe we would have known it already and just inserted our own headcanon into that book. And you can still do that now, right? Nothing's stopping you. So,
Sure.
yeah,
Rick.
I think it's a whole story in its own.
That's fair.
What were you going to say, Rick?
I was going to say that it was jarring to me when I read it. The transition from the end of Paradise Snare all of a sudden to, hey, good pal Chewie here. So that definitely was jarring. But yeah, I didn't have to have it. Like Freddie said, I'm okay with that. I wouldn't complain, if we were to have had it. That'd have been awesome. But I'm good without it. But it definitely, was a speed bump for me.
You know what else is a speed bump for a lot of people? all the Hutt lore. There's a lot of Hutt lore. This is the part of the show we did not warn Charles about, where we're going to grill him on Hutt lore. Are you ready?
Sacks. Yes or no?
We're not going to do this, Charles. Don't worry.
Okay,
But
all right.
there are. I just want to see you sweat like a Hutt. There's two primary clans. I did some research. All right. There's two primary clans called Khajiitics. Now, I also did some of the speech to text with Kindle for this, so I had a robot reading me some of these books. So I got some weird pronunciations. It's not my fault. It's the robot's fault. Okay. There's the Besadii Khajiitic.
Nope.
And the
Don't like that.
and the Disilogic Khajiitic. Here's the difference between the two. The Besadii Khajiitic has Auric and Durga. The Disilogic Khajiitic has Jabba and Gileak. Here's another difference. The Besadii Khajiitic, this is really making my little speech impediment that I have. I've got a little stutter. It comes out sometimes.
Me too. You're good.
The Hutt lore is really trying to bring that stutter out of me. All right, here we go. The Besadii Khajiitic has birthmarks on their faces.
Yeah.
They're into slavery and spice, and they have a thing for human women.
Do they?
Yes.
Okay.
The Disilogic, it's straight off the Wook, all right?
Okay.
The Disilogic Khajiitic are hairy, and they like pod racing as a pastime.
Okay.
Awesome. Make them the good guys.
But Jabba likes his scantily clad ladies too, so I feel like
Okay, maybe I messed that up. I did a lot of research on the Khajiitics, man. All right,
There's a lot. It's definitely a lot of lore.
you're welcome to look through the Hutt Wikipedia
Sorry,
pages, because,
I'm
man, there's a lot
If
of weird stuff.
If there's one pronunciation that I'm going to take exception with, Jared, out of all of that, it's that you don't call that one Hutt Eric.
Eric.
A-R-U-K.
Eric the
It's
Hutt.
for sure Eric the Hutt.
The robot says Eric. The robot says Eric.
That's hilarious. I would have gone with Aruk, but what do I know?
Freddie is Eric is screaming in the chat, absolutely screaming at us. And this, if you're listening on audio, this is why you got to be here live for these shows and join the chat yourself. Which of the two Hutt clans are you siding with when you read these? Did you have a team that you were kind of rooting for? Are you team Besadii or team Disilogic? Freddie, we'll start with you.
I'm not even sure if I have a side. It was
You want to see them all blow up on their own on their barge, sail barge.
their sail barges. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously Jabba's the one we all know, but there's Durga the Hutt, right? And then now we've got Eric the Hutt, which Eric is now a Legends Hutt.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely don't have a side. I mean, I love pod racing, so
There you go. He's Team Disilogic.
there it is.
Rick, Besadii or Disilogic?
Let's see.
Team Birthmarks or Team Harry Hutts?
Team Spice or Team's pod racing.
Let's say Harry Butts. I missed what you said.
No, Harry Hutts.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I would go with the Syllogic, but just barely. You know, it's again, you're losing. If you try to pick a side, you're losing either way. But the way that he's friendly to Han and gives him some jobs, and I thought that was interesting because, you know, in A New Hope, Han wants to kill Han, Jabba wants to kill Han. Han probably does too, and it's not good. So it's really cool seeing a total change in their dynamic. That
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
he's super protective of him, you know, and loves the guy. So that was fun. Just want to say that slavery's bad, and so definitely not friends of the Besadii. Khajiitic. I can't say this either.
Besadii sounds like a rapper.
Besadii.
The problem is,
Besadii.
Jabba also has slaves.
That's true.
He just like
true.
isn't, from what I understand, is not as big of a dealer in the slave trade.
Yeah, he didn't have colonies that were all killing themselves in
Yeah.
the spice mines. You know, there's just a lot of dirty, I feel, with the Besadii.
The trilogy makes Jabba sympathetic.
Yeah, it does.
It makes
does.
Jabba seems like the good guy. He's annoyed with with the kid. Who's got the kid?
Gileak, right?
Gileak.
Yeah, Gileak.
And there's so much of the trilogy of Jabba being annoyed with the kid. I remember at one point I was listening while I was being annoyed with my kid. And I was like, oh, me too, Java. Java's just like me. Hold
What
on.
is that? Yeah,
This isn't good.
that's fair.
Charles, you want to weigh in on this one?
I mean, I think you guys got it right. I think it's the Dacilajit clan. Mostly because of Jabba, also because of pod racing. And because, I mean, I think you see too much of like the horrors on Elysia to feel sympathetic towards the Basadi.
Yeah,
Totally.
definitely. What was beautiful, though, was the Hutt fight. Oh my gosh. Was that the most well-constructed scene in the entire expanded universe?
You know, the Hutts have a lot of warfare, don't they? I mean, it seems like warfare is prevalent in their species, in their... I don't know. There's always the warfare book, right? That warfare book. I can't remember the name of it.
There's a lot of stories about Hutts there.
A lot of Hutt warfare. We get Hutt warfare here, and it's great Hutt warfare. I'm loving it.
People are gonna think this is a football podcast with all the Hutt.
Oh man, I love when they Hutt.
Football podcast. Eric's not even on the show. Well, we talked about him. He's a Hutt.
He's
Absolutely. Now, there's a moment where... I can't keep these friggin' Hutts straight in my head. Who gets poisoned? Arik?
No,
I think that was
Gilead.
no. It is Aruk Durga's
It's-
Yeah,
Father-
Arik gets
yeah, it's
poisoned
Eric, the guy who went to Elysia. He got poisoned with the frogs,
with
right?
the Nalatree
Yeah,
frogs.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so they slowly put poison, trace amounts of Hutt-killing poison in the Nalatree frog snackquarium.
yes.
The snackquarium. And
Just put that on youtini.gifs, the snackquarium.
I would buy it for sure. Fill it full of Chex Mix.
Yeah.
Every time you walk by it, just reach on in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how would you assassinate a Hutt? Got me thinking. How do you take one of these bad boys down?
Salt.
Or girls? They're hermaphroditic.
Can we point out how horrendous this assassination was? This was not like he ate a bad frog and fell face first in his soup. Like this
It
was
was
like a
dastardly,
prolonged, like
yeah.
he disintegrated from the inside out.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
It was
awful.
horrendous.
These are the kind of details that made this trilogy not just good, but great.
Yeah.
There was a lot of thought that went into how she would kill a Hutt.
Absolutely. I think what's interesting about Hutt deaths is they're most satisfying when they're done, when they're killed in such a way that it uses their evil tendencies against them. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So Hutts are always, they're fat and gross and eating like just, they're gluttons, right?
Yeah,
They're gluttons.
Yeah.
And so this Hutt was killed with his gluttony. Jabba is killed by the very chains that he put around Leia, right? So there's always like this
That'll preach.
poetic
Preach.
justice.
Yeah.
Okay, Hutt justice. Here we go.
Hold on. That said, how I would kill a Hutt for sure is I would just sneak a thermal detonator into the pot of frogs.
Ooh yeah, there you
And
go.
then you've seen Jabba pop those things. He's not looking at what he grabbed. He would just swallow that thing, and then I would blow it up with like a remote of some kind. Because Hutts on the outside are gross, but imagine Hutts on the inside.
Splattered.
This is better content than I ever could have imagined producing. I just love that we got Charles to say on our show, what's interesting about Hutt deaths is how else, guys? We can strangle a Hutt.
All right.
You can blow a Hutt up.
I got something
you
for
can
you.
poison a Hutt.
Yeah, here we go. I've been brushing up my Hutties. So first, I would approach this Hutt and I would say, "Kappa Tonka," which means hands up. And then I would say, "Muva di bunky re slagwa," which is turn around real slowly. And let's see, "You wama wonka," you gotta pay for that or something like that. And then I would have been, "Oh, sung peach ale," it's too late. And then I would have gone biblical. I'm left-handed, so I would have pulled out my left-handed lightsaber and stabbed him in the gut like Ehud.
In the gut.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the fat
I'm
folds
assuming
would
you're a
be covered
Sith
up.
if this is happening, right? This sounds very Sithy to me.
Maybe.
It took a turn. It definitely took a turn. I like it, Rick. It definitely reminds me of my very favorite line in the entire Star Wars trilogy, when Bib Fortuna looks straight at the camera and goes, "Te Wanawanga."
Hey, watch your mouth.
I know.
Hey, watch your mouth.
All right, we're reining it in. This trilogy is crammed full of some of the wildest moments in the entirety of the expanded universe. Guys, we're going to go around the horn, and I want to hear your pick. What is your favorite wild and wacky moment of the Han Solo trilogy? Let's start this time with Charles.
Oh man, my favorite wacky moment. This is tough. I think I want to choose all of what happened on Elysia. Like, I think just the fact that there were like, I'm gonna paraphrase this. There were like alien priests who like shimmied in such a way that their vibrations
Shimmied.
made people drug addicts.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what am I even saying? But it's what happened in the book. Like,
That's
if
right.
you read the book, you know what I'm saying is true. What is that? Like, how did that pitch happen and like get okayed?
Yeah.
That's a great question. We can't ask AC Crispin, may she rest in peace. But congratulations on pulling this off. It was a Hutt heist that we needed to have happen.
Yeah.
But heist. Man, that's another good phrase.
Absolutely. It's what I like to call the good vibrations. That's Charles's pick. Rick, you're up next. Please don't give your pick in Hutties.
Oh, man. Ichuta. Actually, that's what I was going to go with is the expletives, man. There's some great expletives.
Yeah,
You've got in the notes Minions of Zindor. That's a great one. And I also like By the Emperor's Bones. I think Black Bones. By the Emperor's Black Bones.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of really good, like, let's see, Kark. I think Karkin comes up a few times, and Hutt Spawn. A lot of good stuff. But that's what I thought was fun.
The expletives.
Yeah,
Okay.
the expletives.
I love the expletives.
The minister likes the expletives. It is good to have some euphemisms
It does,
so that
yes.
you don't have to say real swear words.
Yeah.
I used By the Emperor's Black Bones today. I have already used it today.
The struggle is real.
Freddie, you're up next. Favorite wild and wacky moment.
Let's see. This book is full of wild and wacky moments, from the disintegration of a hut to the pleasure parties for the slaves. It's honestly a wild ride, but the one thing I'll never forget in this book are those pleasure parties, and having to explain that to somebody. You know, like,
it is really
what happens in
something
that
to
book?
try to explain
Well,
that. Yeah.
these things. I'm going to use Charles's word. They shimmy in a way that just makes me feel good.
It makes me feel things.
I'm stuck between a couple of choices. Either some of the ship names, really good naming conventions
totally.
all around. AC Crispin, well done, well done. The expletives are good. The planet names are good. You got Nar Heka,
Yeah.
one of my very favorite planets. The ship names. Here's a couple from the smugglers on Nar Shaddaa when they do the big planetary battle. She just lifts off a bunch of these goofy ship names. The Take That, that's a good ship name. And the Too Late Now, that's another good one
They
as
sound like
well.
candy bars from the 90s.
I would eat it.
Yeah.
I'd get that out of an Easter egg, or as SNL called it the other day, Warm Halloween. I would totally. But I think my very favorite little detail in the entire trilogy, I'll never not see this, is the fact that Hutts have pouches.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have pouches, like a kangaroo.
So
Y'all
gross.
ever seen the inside of a kangaroo's pouch?
You know, I did once,
that-
and that was the last time I ever wanted to think about it.
Is this like hold on.
weird stuff.
Is this a common experience that people have? I've never been asked this question before in my life.
Don't Google it, Rick. Don't
Well,
Google
I
You
it.
don't
have
watch
to
enough
now.
nature documentaries, Rick.
Oh,
Clearly.
I love
I'm
me some
warning
nature.
you.
Dog.
Don't Google it. It's weird. All right. I'd imagine that Hutt pouches are worse. Now, Charles, you are the king of Easter eggs, at least on the Living Force. Do you accept this title?
On the Living Force, I'll take it.
What is the best Easter egg in the Han Solo trilogy? It might be the most Easter egg rife Star Wars trilogy
Oh, totally.
in the entire expanded universe.
Well, so I'm going to take my crown off as king of the Easter eggs and lay it at y'all's feet because I probably only pick up like half of the ones in these books, if that. I'd be lucky to pick those up. So you know what I'm going to say? The best Easter egg in this book, it's a cop-out, but I'm going to tell you, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi because he's in this book.
That's not even in my list of Easter eggs.
He's in this book. He's the best Easter egg.
Yeah.
Surprise, Charles just helloed there to an Obi-Wan Kenobi reference on our show.
You thought we were done talking about him.
I did. I love it.
He is. Where's he come up? Is it at the end with the whole?
I'll give you a hint. It's in one of the 2 chapters that I read. You're 50-50
awesome.
here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Freddie, favorite Easter egg.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of cameos.
By the way, we had over 2,000 Easter eggs at church on Sunday. So
oh
Wow.
my
you better not
goodness.
disappoint here.
Well,
I've seen a lot of Easter eggs
I
in
don't
the
know if
last
you
few
can
days.
tell. These are rabbits on my shirt.
Nice.
Oh,
Supposed to be rabbits, at least. There you go. Little hopping rabbits everywhere.
just keep them away from each other. Safe distance.
Well, I mean, I definitely liked seeing, or getting the Bail Organa cameo, and I know that's something that our buddy Eric loves. So having a Bail Organa cameo is always a good thing. It solidifies just how important he is to the story, and it gives Eric a reason why he should love him even more.
I audibly gasped when I got to Bail Organa.
Yeah,
I
me
did.
too. You know what? I
That
would
was
never
exciting.
have gasped if it wasn't for the progression of Bail Organa becoming this kind of superhero-ish kind of guy, right? I mean, he saved Obi-Wan when Obi-Wan was in pain because of the dark side, right? And for him to just carry this guy with him, how many miles? I don't remember. It's insane. It's insane. So having a Bail
beautiful
Organa,
friendship.
yeah, having Bail Organa pop up is definitely one of the best things.
He's become one of the Mount Rushmore heads of YOUTINI.
Yes.
You got Bail Organa and Jackson and Corran. Who do you think's the fourth one?
Just Corey.
Zeltron.
It's just Corey.
Corey.
Come back to it. We'll come back. I'm gonna say maybe Vima Debota, that creepy old Jedi woman from Tales of the Jedi and Dark Empire. You can't keep her down. She just keeps coming back.
Yeah, when you think she's dead, she's still there.
I think I looked her up one time. There is no canonical death for her in Legends.
So she's in canon. Make it happen,
she-
Charles.
No, not Vima Debota. She's something else, that's for sure. All right, Rick, what's your choice for best Easter egg of the trilogy?
I'm trying to go through what were Han's other girlfriends in Hutt Gambit.
Zaveri the Illusionist.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
She's a good
right.
one.
The illusionist.
She was cool. Who was the other one?
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
It's okay. There's another girl character in
Shala.
Shala. Is that it? Or Sala? Sala? Is it Shala?
Yeah.
Okay. Is she in Dark Empire?
Yes.
Okay. I was just reading that, and so when I saw that, I was like, hold up, is that the same? And then also Mako's in there, I think. And so those connections blew my mind because I was
Sala,
reading them, back to back. So that was pretty cool.
Yes, there's a lot of connection to Dark Empire. Salazind. Yes,
Sala.
correct.
Okay.
Very good. Good pull. Proud of you. That wasn't even on my list. Very good.
Thanks.
So we gotta close it out. It's been a good show. I've enjoyed it. Real quickly, how does the trilogy stack up against Solo: A Star Wars Story? Obviously, we talked about the fact that it homages the trilogy a lot. Do you think that the trilogy becomes more interesting because of the film, or does the film upstage the trilogy and render it kind of obsolete? I'm gonna go with the first because I love Legends.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not obsolete because my headcanon has both of these stories happening in my head around the same time. It just happens, right? And
You just make it work.
Kira, to me, is just another one that failed under Han's young life,
Yeah.
along with...
Yeah.
Another one of his girlfriends.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So, he's always... He's dating an illusionist, a rebel, a rebel, insurgent, I guess you could say, a queen / general / whatever else she is, and then an illusionist. I mean,
Perfect. The Holy Trinity. Charles, does it hold up because of the film, or does the film kind of, brush this off to the wayside?
No, I think these play nicely together. Like, as the canon junkie here, I would definitely not say this trilogy is obsolete. I mean, I still love this. I really did enjoy talking about it tonight, revisiting the parts that I could. And I think what this trilogy has going for it that the movie doesn't, and unfortunately may never, is that this is a complete origin story. Yeah. Like, you got the beginning, the middle, and the end here. And we're pretty unlikely, it feels like at this point in time, to get that with the canon story. And then beyond that, again, like the movie, it pulled heavily from these books. There are some, at least plot points, we'll say, that were directly lifted from this book. And again, I can't remember the exact Easter egg that was in Solo's Star Wars story, but there's a direct nod to Crispin, like her actual name. And I will have to find that and see if I can throw it in the Discord or something. So that movie partly exists, or I'll say stands on the shoulders of this trilogy.
Oh, I like that. Stands on the slimy shoulders.
I'm going to leave this
Absolutely.
one last thing with Charles. And you will not, I repeat, will not get the amount of Hutt lore that you got in this book in canon, maybe.
That's the biggest.
That's true.
That's the reason it only made $328 million in theaters is not enough Hutt lore. Well, our listeners also loved this trilogy. In fact, we had a lot of good banter about the trilogy in the Han Solo Trilogy book club. And today I put out the call, said, hey, let me know what you think about the trilogy. Would love to hear your thoughts read live on the show. So we're going to go around the horn, guys, and each take a turn reading a comment. I'm going to start off with Skooma Joe. Skooma Joe said, one of my favorite parts of the trilogy are Bria's final moments. It's heart-wrenchingly sad seeing how her and Han's final meeting ended, with her romance forever left hanging without the conclusion either of them longed for, but she dies knowing that she made the right decision by betraying Han. And she faces her death with confidence and courage. She was such a great character with her own goals and desires, and by the end, I never felt she was simply Han's girlfriend. Beautifully
awesome.
said. Absolutely. Follow-up comment. I also really love the way Crispin weaved the Daly and Smith trilogies into her story. Definitely. Rick, tell us what Trev thought.
Trev said, for me, it's got to be the use of the same dialogue during the Skyhook mission as we see in the NPR radio script. I did not pick up on that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a closer examination. Freddie, how about Maggie?
Yeah, Maggie. I love the way he relates not just to Chewie, but to Wookiees in general. Him growing up with the Wookiee caretaker, and then meeting Chewie and working with him to help the Wookiees on Kashyyyk later on. Chewie and Han are my faves, and I was a kid, so that was when I was a kid, so that was always been my favorite part. Honestly, that's seeing the relationship there with Han and Chewbacca as well. It is fantastic. Good job, Maggie.
It's a beautiful
Great.
thing.
It's beautiful
thing.
Comment, yeah.
And Charles, take Jordan's.
Yeah, Jordan says, reading the trilogy for the first time in 2021, I love making the comparisons to canon Solo. And one of my favorite moments is probably at the end of Rebel Dawn when we essentially get the Legends version of the Rogue One story. I wasn't expecting that, but I was very pleased. Another favorite part about this trilogy for me is just Crispin's overall respect for the material that came before, even including time gaps to incorporate other material into her story. It's brilliant.
And Charles, tell us what the good folks can do on Monday night.
Yeah, so Monday night, any Monday night, you can come hang out with us on the Living Force, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This Monday, we just switched up our show idea today. We were going to do another one of our drafts, which we've done a bunch of. We've decided instead to talk about how do you basically maintain reading in Star Wars over time? Because we all have busy lives. We all kind of take in these stories in different ways, audiobooks, physical, what have you. How do we keep up that momentum? Because it's tough. And so we want to dedicate some time to that.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love that.
Jared beats me up if I don't read.
I've never even been in the same state with you, Freddie, but that's going to change in 2 weeks. I'm knocking on your door.
He sends you
Very
Nala
excited.
tree frogs.
Kapatonka.
Yeah, don't touch the Nala tree frogs. Don't touch them. Well, very excited. And then Wednesday nights, you've got the Cosmic Force, and we will be back next week, hopefully, with the reunion with our good friend Emily. Hoping to have her back. Fingers crossed. Hut Tales, whatever. Well, that does it for this week. Thanks for joining us on Legends Look Back. Thanks especially to Charles for guesting here with us. Glad to have you. I know as a doctor, your time is very valuable, but never the more valuable than when we're talking Hut lore. Am I right?
Ask me back, and I'll come back in 3 years' time. All right, that'll be our pattern.
3
No,
years.
seriously,
You
thanks
did
for having me, guys.
The Clone Wars episode.
Yeah,
We did
no,
the Tartakovsky.
Yeah, no, I've been around. I'm just messing with y'all. I always have fun hanging out with you guys. Legends, it's fun. I like dipping my toe in the Legends side of things every now and then.
Perfect. Well, thank you also to our incredible patrons. We love the fact that you help us make the show, and glad you're along for the ride. Special thank you to OK Indar, Brian Dooley, Earl Q, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sander on the Jedi High Council, as well as Matt Billington, Elizabeth Cloutier, Freddie C, and Sally and Chris Eilerson on the Alliance High Command. Remember, everybody, to sub to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. Leave us a review in your podcast platform of choice, unless you're driving down the road, in which case, please pull over safely. But then please do it before you finish your trip. Also, if you'd like your thoughts read on the show, you can email us at legendslookback@youtini.com. You can send us a message in the Legends Look Back Discord channel. You can leave us a comment on this episode on YouTube, or you can find us on Twitter at Legends Look Back. I'm at Jared Q. Mays. Freddie.
At Wake Up Freddy.
Rick.
At Rick_Grace.
And Charles.
At C. Hanckel.
Beautiful. If you're looking to buy some of these books, such as The Paradise Snare, The Hutt Gambit, or the Rebel one. What is it?
Rebel Dawn.
Rebel Dawn.
Nailed it. You can go on over to youtini.com, click the Amazon link in the profile, or you can leave us a review after you've read the books. Let us know what you think about that Hut lore. Remember, everybody, to keep the YOUTINI fan code and be a force for positivity in the fandom. May the Force be with you.
This is a YOUTINI broadcast.